Hey there guys, I am back again. Thank you so much for coming in to join me again, and thank you replay viewers and YouTube viewers. I appreciate you being here. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery patterns and kits, and we just got caught off of Facebook, so I'm hoping that this video sticks around a little bit longer. So if you're just joining me again, thanks for sticking with me and coming back in here. Hopefully it works this time. It says it's my Wi-Fi, which I know that's not the case, so because we just got super awesome Wi-Fi here this past week, so boo. Hopefully we'll keep going here though. Now we are working on the Jacquelynne Steves I Love Home block of the month. It is right here. We are on block number 3, and we have these 3 hearts stitched on. So we have the sketch of the whole block on there, the house, and the 3 hearts. We will be working on the flower now. So that is the next part that we will needle, turn, appliqué, and after that we'll do embroidery. And you guys, again, if you want to, scared I lost you. I don't know, it just cut out again, guys. So make sure to sign up for the I Love Buttons, etc. giveaway. The giveaway is going today and tomorrow yet. So if you put in hashtag I Love Home Quilt in the comments here, or if you're on YouTube, you can do it in the comments there as well. And then subscribe on YouTube or like this Facebook page, and should be good to go, and you will be entered, and you can enter every day for the rest of this week, and you can enter in the replays too. So I won't actually be picking the winner till Sunday, and we'll be announcing it later next week. So you can sign up through Saturday yet on the replays. So that's the deal for the I Love Buttons, etc. prize. They're cute little adorable buttons and charms that you can sew on a quilt or just use anywhere where you want some cute stuff. And that's the deal. So thanks again for joining me. If you're just coming in now, this is our second little try for the night. Hopefully it doesn't cut out on us again. Oh yeah, and I just wanted to remind you again here, if you missed it last time, for the rest of the month after we finish this block, it will be Finish It Fall, where I'm gonna work on some of the projects that we didn't get done yet. So the hand-stitched project, the English paper piecing project by Blair from Wisecraft that we didn't quite finish last week, I will be working on that some more and making it into a pillow. And then if there's still time, I want to work on my Splendid Sampler quilt. Again, I have the border to stitch yet on that, and man, I really want that project done. So, and then November we'll be starting block 4, our last block for the I Love Home block of the month, and then also later in November we'll be doing the Heidi Boyd cute little unicorn stuffed animal project as well. So okay, let's turn around, and hopefully it'll not cut out on us this time. So thanks a bunch. I know I need to finish that jean quilt too, Deborah, that's for sure. But that I Love, or the Splendid Sampler is just itching at me. That one needs to get done. Oh, thanks, Sally. I'm so happy you like the videos. Oh, you're gonna start the Splendid Sampler, Gretchen? You should totally do that. I learned so much from working on that project. Like, I feel like, you know, I was a beginner at kind of all the different techniques, but I feel like now I can, you know, walk into a room of quilters and feel like I know what I'm doing. So I feel good about that. All right, I'm gonna start today with this long stem here, and I thought I would just take this, kind of cut it wide enough, and sew the first side on, and then maybe even trim it if I cut it too wide. So I'm not going to trace this. It's just kind of like a straight line. Oh, Gretchen, that is so sweet. I appreciate that a ton. That is so nice. All right, so I'm going to kind of estimate. I need it as thick as this, plus a little seam allowance, not too much, because the seam allowance can't be wider than this because I won't be able to tuck it under. Ooh, that scares me going that thin though. I think I'll go about like this. We're just kind of estimating here. And what I'm gonna do is pin this. Ooh, your first shop hop, have fun. I'm gonna pin this to the center. Oh, I think I cut this just right. So I'm gonna pin this to the center of the, so it's vertically in the center of the stem. And then I'm gonna start stitching down here. I'm gonna start turning it so it aligns with that one side. Yeah, you know what? I think I made this a little big. So what I'm gonna do actually is I'm going to pin it with the seam allowance that I kind of want to tuck under. So I might be shushing it this way just a hair. And I'll just have to trim a line. So, all right, I'm gonna throw a pin up here. And I think also in the middle. I'm gonna throw a pin down here first, and then I'm gonna put pins in from the back side. I think that'll help me, so my thread isn't catching on these pins. So now I'm gonna move this one to the back as well. And I can kind of see my seam allowance through this, through the back here. I can see the fabric in the front. So that's good because that, oh, I don't know if you guys can see, but I can see that the seam allowance is just a hair smaller than this skinny line here, skinny stem. So I think I will have to trim the edge on the other side, but we'll wait till we get that far. Okay, we should be ready to go. All right, I got my straw needle here. Oh, the applique pins, I've been having a good time with them. So I used to hand stitch this down, which is perfectly fine. But now, and I didn't like the pins at first because my thread was catching on this all the time. But now that I'm going from the back to the front, now my thread has nothing to catch on anymore. So now the whole applique pin thing is working great for me. When it's out like this, then every time you pull the thread, it wants to catch, the loop wants to catch on the pin there. And now that's not happening anymore. I'm gonna remove that pin that's still in the front there before I start stitching. So I'm gonna stitch just this up this line, and you know, then I'll trim this because it's too long, and then I think I'll trim this edge a little bit so it's closer to the seam allowance, and then stitch down. So that's the plan here. We'll start with that much thread. But yeah, Deborah, I'm liking the applique pins so far. And I got the clover ones. I don't remember if I have a link to it or not, but the clover ones have, it comes in this like nice container that clips shut, so they won't dump everywhere, which is nice. Unless you leave them out like I've been doing lately. So, all right, I'm gonna remove that pin. Oh man, this is a skinny little bit again. Let's see if we can do this. I think I'm gonna just fold it over here to get it started. Ooh, goodness. We had our warm up the last couple days with these hearts, and now we're stepping it up to the little more difficult parts. So I have this started, this little seam with this fold. I'm going to start all the way down here. This part will be covered up later when I put the ground on. The ground is also going to be appliqued. But that stem is so small, I think I'll embroider it. Linda, that is a perfectly lovely idea. Linda's gonna embroider the stem just because it's so little. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely gonna be a challenge. And these, the petals and the leaves are awfully small too. We already had this itty bitty heart, which for me was a little more difficult than the bigger hearts. but I think we'll do it. Yeah, Gretchen, me too, but we're gonna tackle it. We're gonna tackle the flower. It does look a little intimidating. So the flower, I think, is what we might do next. Unless we do the leaves next. Maybe the leaves would be some practice for the flower part, maybe. Got a little fuzzle here. Where are you connected to, fuzzle? I'm gonna just trim you. I think it's coming from the bottom here. Yeah, we'll deal with it later. I'm gonna stitch around it. You know, I'm just saying, oh, bias tape maker folds it for you. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a bias tape maker that does anything this small. And I mean, I could have folded this and pressed it beforehand, but I don't know. I'm trying to stick to this whole pure needle turn applique thing just to challenge myself, because I know I need, you know, practice on it, and I'm kind of enjoying it. So I'm trying to do it without all the extra, without, you know, pressing it beforehand and all that. What was the difference between applique pins and the regular pins? I think, honestly, I think it's only the size, the difference between an applique pin and a normal pin. So like here's one of my normal pins. I think here's, out, just stabbed myself. You know, here's a couple pins, and here's an applique pin. So it's itty bitty, which will make it out of your way a little bit more, would be my guess. So that's really the only difference I can see. Oh, the narrow piece is easy if I just do it and don't freak. Well, that's the plan. Yeah, I'm a little more worried about the flower, the petals, and the leaves, but we did it with the little flower, or the little heart, so I'm not worried. All I'm doing is tilting it under and to my blue background line, and then stitching it down. So far so good. And I think I'm going to be doing the leaves in the same color fabric. Okay, so I'm approaching this needle, or this pin here. I'm going to just take that pin out now. And I think I'm going to, this worked well just before, so I'm going to lay it on the table here and fold the next little bits down. And I'm kind of finger pressing it just to help myself out a little bit. Gretchen, I'm not sure. So what I'm going to do, so in her pattern, she has it as all one piece. So I think that's how I'm going to try doing it, as all one piece. And then, you know, then we have this circle that will cover up any of our mistakes. But I think this might be easier than doing each petal separately. At least that's kind of what I'm thinking. So I'm going to do it all one piece like this. And we'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll do that next. Tackle that next before these well, actually, you know what? I think I'm going to do petals next, and tomorrow we will, no matter where we are, we will start that, we'll do the petals. So tomorrow we'll do the petals from beginning until we finish it. So, you know, because I want to leave enough time to do it. So tonight we'll just focus on this stem and a leaf or two maybe, and or one leaf at least. So tomorrow the focus will be those petals. And then we'll go back to the leaves and the little circle and all the rest of it. All right, I'm going to take the other piece out here, other needle pin, the other pin. Yeah, so we'll make that tomorrow's objective for sure. All right, so I'm just folding this and giving me a little press again, finger press it. I'm just folding it to the line again, stitching it down. Yeah, these straight lines, this is the way to needle turn, just do straight lines. That's nice. Oh, no problem, Holly. Yeah, it'll be good to do the flower before the weekend. Then we can kind of give it a practice in case you guys wanted to work on it over the weekend. But yeah, I mean, you could do each petal. I'm sure that'd be just fine, but I like the idea of the one shape. So I wanted to just give it a go doing it that way. All right, we almost have this one side done. It keeps kind of moving on me a little bit. So I'm just making sure that I'm sticking to my blue lines on the background. I think I am going to have to trim my seam allowance a hair because the seam allowance on this other side is going to be too wide for this itty bitty guy. But now we can test that a little bit better now that this side is going to be stitched on, I think. I know this house is pretty cute. I like this one too. Could you not use the heat and bond to help with the stem? I could. I mean, like, I could have done this whole thing with the heat and bond. I'm just attempting to do it without all that stuff. So yeah, there's definitely other options for this needle turn. I'm just trying to do it in the like most kind of traditional way, just to kind of connect with that way a little bit. With with the I Love Home quilt, I'm kind of committed to this needle turn, so we're gonna just keep giving it a try. All right, I'm up into the flower now, so I'm just gonna go around in this spot one more time to kind of lock it in place. I'm not gonna tie a knot, I'm just gonna keep coming down this other side here. All right, so I think that's good. I'm gonna, first of all, I'm gonna just trim this down a bit. Don't need all that. And let's see, I'm thinking we have way more seam allowance than we need. Yeah, I'm gonna just trim. Let's see, oh wow, yeah. This seam allowance is actually too big. I'm actually gonna trim, okay, we're getting crazy here now. I'm trying to make it as thin as this, so this seam allowance is actually going over that, so I'm gonna just trim carefully this seam allowance. Maybe I'll use my little scissors for this. Just so it fits within the stem. This might be crazy, but I don't know. Logically, in my head, it makes sense, so we're doing it. I am not a pro needle turner by any means, but I still want to try doing this in the like old school needle turn way. So, all right, we made that seam allowance a little bit smaller. There, it's pretty much within that stem now. Thick with the hearts, the pure applique needle turn turns out to be the cutest. Oh, you use heat and bond on the first one. Oh, you like it this way better. Oh, well, that's interesting. Yeah, well, that's what's the fun with applique is you can try, you know, whatever you like and see what works for you. All right, let's see. I think we're gonna just trim it. We're just winging it. This might be a horrible idea, but we're doing it now. All right, got rid of some excess there. I'm going to bring my needle down and then come up on the other side. Down to the back. All right. Let's give this a little fold. So now my seam allowance is pretty small. You can almost kind of roll it. All right, there we go. Now I got that little bit of a start. Once I got that start, then I can use the needle to help me out, I think, a little bit. So let's start tacking that down. Oh, Gretchen, that makes me happy. Yeah, choosing stash and not obsessing. Yeah, I figure if I'm using anything in my stash, then I'm honoring that fabric, you know, because it's been there for a while. And, you know, however anything turns out, any project, whatever fabric you choose, it's going to be unique to you, and that's going to make it special. Oh man, I just lost my needle here. So I do think about, when I'm picking fabric, I do think about, you know, the lights and the mediums and the darks, and am I showcasing a certain fabric and kind of what goes with that fabric and stuff. But in the end, you eventually just have to be like, you know what? This is what's meant to be, what I'm doing right now. All right, now we're good to stitch down this row a little bit. So the initial seam allowance is still a little wide, so I got to make sure to tuck that under as I go. Oh, dang, the needle is working awesome for this. So just flipping it up, swooping underneath. If this had any curves to it and stuff, it'd be a little bit more annoying, but since it's straight, this isn't bad at all. It's much easier to use the needle to help turn it than it was with my fingers. Yeah, I'm just kind of swooping it underneath. Ooh, although this is awfully thin here. I got a little thin. I'm trying to get it so it's not going around the other seam allowance, but it's kind of wanting to go around the other seam allowance. I wanted to go in between. I suppose it doesn't matter. Yeah, what I'm worried about is that I'm picking at it too much and it's going to start fraying like it is a little bit here. Just going to stuff it in there. That seemed to work. All right, we got a teeny bit done here. We're doing it. All right, next bit. Just gonna roll it a little bit, stuff it down in there. All right. I think this is going okay. It's so little. I like it. Here, I maybe cut my seam allowance a little thin, but it seems to be working okay. Just tuck that bloop in. Could you imagine doing a whole quilt with like a full scene of needle turn that's all this small? That'd be a challenge. It's coming along though. I like the texture that's happening with the you know, light greens and dark greens that are in the fabric. Get in there. Okay. It's working. I mean, it's you know, not the easiest thing. I'm really stuffing it in there and it's itty bitty pieces, but it's happening. It's working. Oh, you found your Halloween decorations out and got your Halloween decorations out. Use fabric for foundations. Oh, interesting. All right, let's swoop some more of that under. Yeah, needle's still working to swoop. fuzzle. We need to get, let's get Zeb and Phil out here. They need to help me. All right, we are almost almost done here. So skinny. Yeah, we'll do leaves for the rest of the evening here then. Then tomorrow we'll tackle those flower petals. Yeah, you could totally do this with like an itty bitty bias tape that you make, or yeah, embroider this or whatever too, or give this itty bitty guy a try too. I like to try challenging myself with these evenings, and with every like craft I do, I try and learn a little bit more and stuff. So we're doing this tiny piece challenge. It's looking pretty cute though, I do have to say. It's itty bitty stem. Oh yeah, oh I did see that, Gretchen. So Deborah, who sells the these little guys, the Fish Museum and Circus characters, these cute little pincushion guys, she's doing, I just got her newsletter, she's doing a special sale for like newcomers. So if you get on her special like newcomer list, she's giving new buyers a chance to get them because they're selling out immediately. And the way like Etsy is set up, like you have to actually go through the entire purchase process before you've claimed it, which means that you think you've got one, and when you're done paying, or you think you're done paying, then it's not available anymore. And you have to just be quick. You can't go through PayPal. You have to do the credit card way and just click credit card and then submit, and then whatever credit card is that you've logged on with Etsy or whatever will be billed. So it's kind of super difficult to get one if you haven't bought on Etsy before, or if you try and go through PayPal. I've lost a bunch. I've tried to order, before I got these guys, I had tried like 2 or 3 times beforehand to order one, and then I got a little wiser to how to buy it quicker. I'm like, oh dang, I gotta be there right on the button, and I gotta click whatever I see when it comes up. And I clicked a couple and then went through the PayPal thing and didn't get those, and luckily I was able to get these guys on different occasions. There's no way you could order 2 at once, because 2 at once, they'd be gone immediately. So you got to pick one and go through the process, because if you waste time to click on 2, then they'll both be gone. So because they sell out right away, she is going to try and she wants to give beginners an opportunity, not beginners, first-time buyers an opportunity to them as well. Oh, that's what happened to me too, Gretchen. It was in my cart. I had 2 guys in my cart, and by the time I was done, they were gone, because I had done the PayPal route. So now I'm like, oh, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna click, when it pops up, like when you click order, there's a pop-up that comes up that says, do you want to pay with credit card or PayPal? And I went to PayPal, but then you have to log in and then, hit OK. And then when it goes back to your Etsy receipt, you have to click submit. When you do the credit card option, it just goes right to the submit. So you say credit card, and then it goes to your page and you hit submit, and then that's how you do it fast. But I didn't know that yet, so next time, next time I know that. So next time I'm still shooting for one of those thread pooping unicorns. Oh man, I don't know if I'll get one, but I'd like to. Then my collection will be complete. How about that? But yeah, so there. I just revealed the secret, or at least what I suspect is the secret to getting one of these guys on time. And you literally do have to be there right at the time she says, and be like refreshing your browser and whatever. It's a 2-second and they're gone type of thing, which is, I mean, great for her. I'm glad they're doing well because they're awesome and so sweet. But it's crazy. I can feel like my adrenaline going, like when I'm sitting there, like, oh my God, I gotta get one, and it's just ridiculous. But I'm very happy with these guys. I just need they just need their thread pooping unicorn buddy. So they're really cute, the thread pooping unicorns. It fits an Aurifil thing in it, so they're kind of like this, but a unicorn, and then it fits, instead of the pincushion, it fits a thing of Aurifil, and then there's a hole in the butt, and then you pull the thread out of the hole. And I just kind of love it. But it'd be perfect for this handwork here, because I'd have like one of these guys with my needles, and then the unicorn with the thread, and it would just work perfectly. Oh, sounds good, Gretchen. I won't be allowed to be in the first time group though, so you guys should sign up to her newsletter and get in the first time group, because I was already able to get these guys, so I won't be allowed in that group. All right, we have an itsy bitsy little line on there, and I'm totally loving it. Like, it's looking good. Here we go. It is so thin. I got little fuzzles to cut off, and I can do that, but I'm pretty dang happy with that. Definitely needed to trim those seam allowances down to fit underneath there, which made them more vulnerable to fraying, but seemed to work well. I'm gonna just trim these little frayed edges while I'm at it before getting into those leaves. All right, I think we're fine. Let's tackle one of the leaves. All right, so I'm gonna try tracing this. It looked like I could go through here. Yeah, okay, great. So I'm going to, we'll just go one by one. So I'm gonna trace, oh, you know, she does have some things for holding scissors, Bonnie. She has these cute little heads, and they're like little sewing containers. And the top's a pincushion, but it opens, and then it's like a container, and you can put scissors and stuff in there. Those are pretty cute, but I like the little animal, weird monster animal characters more than the people characters. All right, I'm just going to trace through this first leaf. And this will be our first guy here. So I can barely see the leaf through this fabric, but I can see it enough. All I need is enough to see enough to trace that. Cut with my little seam allowance. I'm doing probably a little bit less than 1/4 inch, because these are pretty dang small. I'm just gonna trim these points off a bit too. All right, there's our first leaf. So I'm gonna try to, I don't know if I should attempt to pin it in place. It's so little. Oh, psst. I was gonna pin it to the paper. I do not need to do that. Okay. There we go. Let's pin it on fabric, not paper. All right, I am gonna throw a little pin underneath there. I'm gonna put the pin on the side that I'm not gonna stitch first. All right, I think that's looking good. So I'm gonna start on what's relatively like a straightaway. So I'm gonna start kind of in the middle of this bulge and work to the point. and then go all the way to this point and then back to that bulge area. And now I'm wondering if I should have maybe started at the bottom, but I already have it pinned. We're starting up here. There, see, this could be in a unicorn right now, not just laying on the table. That would be neat. Oh, well. Next time. All right. I don't need a very big piece of thread because I only have to go around that little leaf there. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to start right in the center there. So let's tuck that under. Oof, these are little. All right, so I just kind of have that center point good to go. So it's lined up with my blue on the top fabric and the background fabric, and I'm going to just tack that down. Okay, there we go. So now I'm just going to start forming this curve with my fingers and the needle. Again, following that, both blue lines. Is using the hexes the same as English paper piecing? Yes, so hexes is just, English paper piecing is the putting your fabric around the little form and stitching them together by hand. So hexes is just, you're doing English paper piecing around hexagon shapes. That's all that means. So yes, that's English paper piecing. In the most sense. I mean, you can machine stitch things that look like hexagons and stuff too, but I think what you're saying, what a lot of people do with hexagons, most of the time that's, at least most recently, that's needle turn applique. Or not needle turn applique, English paper piecing. Oh, I know, the jeans hexie. So I saw that too. I need to get, this weekend I'll get on the Penguin and Fish Crafters page a little bit more. I'm still working on the embroidery supplies bundle stuff, getting all the orders in for that. But I did see that image, and I don't know, I want to look into that a little bit more because I'm thinking, man, English paper piecing jeans would be pretty tough just because they're so thick. But I don't know, maybe those, maybe they're bigger pieces too. That could be. I'm going to take my pin out now. Like bigger pieces with jeans, that could totally work. But yeah, it was really cool. I really liked it too. All right, I'm going to trim. This is a lot of fabric hanging out here, so I'm just going to trim it down a bit and trim this back piece. All right. So I'm going to bend it so it's like perpendicular to my point there. And then we'll stuff it under. Oop, I popped out a little bit there. Let's stuff it back in there. Okay, I think we got it. I'm going to go through this point one more time, though. I know, Carol, it's so tiny. I would have, before the Splendid Sampler, I would have not have attempted this. And it was only till I learned a few of those tricks on points, inner points and outer points, during the Splendid Sampler that things started looking okay. But yeah, it's tiny, that's for sure. Super duper tiny. It's kind of fun though. It's fun. I mean, you gotta be a little okay with it being a hair wonky when it's this small, I think, because it ain't gonna be perfect, at least mine aren't. But I kind of like when it's a little wonky. It shows that the person did it, and you can see You can see where you're learning and where you're getting better and stuff too. This will be interesting because there's 5 leaves here, so we can see if there's any improvement as we go. Oh, I would like to get this arch good, so let's just tuck it under little by little. Trying to grab the seam allowance and tuck it under. All right, puff it up a little bit. I think I can get at least one more stitch in there before I have to tweak it a little bit again. All right, get it at that point. It's looking a little pointy and I don't want it to be pointy. I keep stabbing myself in my finger on the back, but not enough. Not enough to cause damage. All right, so I'm approaching the point down here. I'm gonna try and just get that point right at the base of the stem. So I'll just put the point there. No matter, I think it went a little bit over in the blue, but my blue line, but I'm gonna stop the point right at the base here and go around there again at the stem. Okay. It's so tiny. I think it's looking okay though. We still have to stuff all this under though, so let's trim that. Oh, but it didn't even hurt. You know, that's totally like how I am too, Gretchen. My hands are so dry and used to being stabbed with needles that it's kind of like, that didn't really hurt. All right. Tuck this under. I have to use the needle for this because my fingers are too big. I'm just really just trying to stuff this all in here. We'll have to shape it nicer. Get in there. Almost got this bulk. Trying to force it underneath there. All right, I think I got it. We're going for it. Ooh, it came out a little bit. Oh, well. Like I said, we'll improve with these as we go, I'm hoping. All right, I think that's not that bad. I think I'm going to end it right here, actually. So I'm going to go around this last stitch one more time. Oh man, it's a little wonky, but it's so tiny too. I'm kind of happy with doing it the same color as the stem. I feel like that's something I normally wouldn't do. I'd probably usually just change the colors to do different fabrics, but now that I did the same thing, I'm kind of liking it. Thinking maybe I should do that more often. All right. You quilted with a lady who used 3 thimbles. Oh my gosh, I have not mastered thimbles yet, that's for sure. Maybe I just don't have one that fits, but my bigger hunch is that I just am not doing it right. So I'll have to look up that again sometime. But all right, there is our itty bitty, our tiny, look, it's, you know, here's my pinky finger and I have tiny hands. So it is itty bitty. But there we go. So I think that's, I think we'll probably stop there for the night versus doing a whole nother one. But I think we will, like I said, we will tackle the petals tomorrow. I think we'll be able to finish the whole thing and maybe even get to do this circle, which would be super cool. But for sure, we'll do the petals tomorrow, assuming that, you know, Facebook cooperates and stuff. This was our second post tonight, so it wasn't working for us the first time. Sometimes it's weird like that, though. The first time, it'll say, no, you're not working. And then the second time, like this time, it's working just fine. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But all right, I'm going to flip you around and we'll call it an evening. Hello. All right, so here, oh gosh, see now, look how small that line is. It is teensy tiny. Very small, but it's coming along. I'm happy with it. We're gonna get this flower done. A couple more days, and then we'll be on to embroidery. So that's it. The flower. Oh wait, we do have the ground yet to do. I was thinking the flower is the last thing, but we will do this ground. That won't take that long though. That's a nice long straightaway, slow slope, gentle sloping grass there. So awesome. Thanks again, guys, for coming in. And like I said, tomorrow we'll start this flower. And if you want to watch this again, I will get it up on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies. And it will also stay here on Penguin and Fish on Facebook. And be sure to sign up for the giveaway. It's the I Love Buttons, etc. giveaway, where it's a bunch of cute little buttons and charms and goodies from I Love Buttons, etc. Just remember to do the hashtag I Love Home Quilt in this post or any of the other videos from this week or over on YouTube. So awesome, guys. Thanks again, and have a great Friday tomorrow. And I will see you in the evening. Good night.